I guess you could call it a comeback. Yippee-ki-yay, cowboy with a drum pad, hands a dump fast. I had to learn quick, sharp as a thumbtack. Ain't no free rides, this ain't a bus pass. Hold up. Yeah, old man Marty with the fuzzy cardigan and a
10-6.
10-6, 10-4 mine, 10-6 yours.
Yes.
Thus, we take the average, which is 10-6.
Plus the extra 0.04 for the
lead-in.
For the fake
Intro.
finish.
Yes,
Whatever.
it counts. 10-6-4, guys.
All right, guys.
Who's counting?
I'm here with Abigail Crowe. I've never said that out loud. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah.
Okay, great. It could have been Crowe, but it's not. Abigail Crowe, hybrid athlete, run coach, lift coach. You do all the things. We just ran 10.6 miles. Just putting that out there. So when you see our lift today, you keep that in mind before you give us a hard time.
Yes. And I am not in 10.6 mile shape currently. So
she's been injured. She just like ripped 10.6 out of nowhere.
I love a good quad tear. Come back.
Yeah, torn rec fem, right?
Yes.
Is that your first run over 10 in a while?
Yes. That was my first, my longest run. My 2 longest runs have been with you.
Amazing.
Yes.
We did like 8 or something last week,
Yes.
10 this week. That's amazing. Well, looking forward to sharing this episode with you guys. We're going to take a quick break, change clothes, get some calories down, and then crush a lift.
I'm excited.
All right, let's do it. Like, this is good when I want like 30 to 50 at a time. This is good when I want like 100 at a time.
I think I have trauma from this because the Boston, Georgia half, I didn't bring any fuel, and all they had was Gatorade. And you know how these like ho-dunk people mix up the fueling. They just like throw stuff in the thing. And I was like I was taking a sip and I'm like halfway through.
I love this stuff, honestly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like 50 grams.
I've never tried Scratch.
Scratch is good. I really like it.
Serving size 7 scoops. No way. This is for endurance runners.
Yeah, 100 grams of carbs.
That is amazing.
It's so good. I love both of these. I really do. But just like...
Who takes This is unreal.
The palatability and just like the sweetness of this post-workout.
I want to see how big a scoop is for this. 7 of these.
7 of them.
Just going for a casual long run.
I have a scale, and so I usually just dump it and measure out 100 grams on this thing.
Have you ever put Scratch in food?
I'm not
insane.
Not that crazy.
I'd be tempted to put it in my oats.
I do like this, like when I'm carb loading before a race or something, just to make it like easier on my digestion rather than like try to eat 1,000 grams of carbs from rice or something.
Yeah.
I'll just do my normal diet.
I feel like carb loading.
And just do some of that.
Carb loading would be a good time. Where the heck is my energy drink?
You're doing caffeine post-workout?
Yeah. So excited to lift.
Yes, this will be fun.
I have really enjoyed getting back to lifting.
So obviously, like today we ran like almost 11 miles.
10.64. But who's counting?
Let me go. I'm doing another one. Another one of these.
Another scoop?
Another scoop.
This is how Glennis rules the world. It's through blue Gatorade.
People think there's some big secret. They're like, let's see a day in the life of like, what do you eat in a day? I'm like, just a couple of these.
Yep.
Some food. You'll be all right.
Okay, I do actually want to talk about, I know you made a post about this, but maybe this is good for you to talk about in film, but how you do vegan diet, and also, I feel like carbs is easy on a vegan diet, but get all of the protein that you think is necessary for your day. Because there's a difference between, I have to get exactly 1 gram or more per pound,
So a series of good
It's
questions.
also selfish because I've been really obsessed with tofu recently. Don't ask why.
Love tofu.
But it's so good right now.
So one, I think, like, people argue about protein targets and stuff all the time. And I feel like protein is important, but it has definitely gotten over-indexed.
Yeah.
And people have just gone absurd on it. And it's like, there's some benefit, especially short-term, for like satiety. If you're dieting, eating more protein is going to keep you more full and like keep your blood sugar more stable, all that. But like outside of pretty, I think, niche applications, if you're like just trying to fuel good training and build muscle in like kind of this context, I think even below 1 gram per pound, like more like a gram per pound of lean body mass is more than adequate.
Yeah.
And so like for me, I'm 10, 11% body fat, 165 pounds. So I'm like 150 pounds of lean mass. So I'll shoot for like 150 grams of protein, which is really not that much,
It's not that hard.
especially given that I have like 4,000 to 5,000 calories to work with. It's like if I wasn't getting that, then like what am I even eating?
What are you eating? Yeah.
Like if I was literally getting
Blue Gatorade.
5,000
Clearly.
calories of straight blue
You're not
Gatorade,
eating.
maybe
We're
that'd be
drinking
maybe that'd be a problem. But like,
But what do you say about the fact that your protein isn't going to have the highest level of absorption because it's from a plant-based diet? So I had to sound like people. I had to sound like people in the comments.
I think people fundamentally misunderstand what some of the protein digestibility scores mean. So a lot of people will look at one called like the PDC AAS or whatever. I can't remember all the acronyms, but they'll see one that has like a 0.7, and they'll say like, oh, so you're only digesting and absorbing 70% of it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, that's not what that number means. That means if that's the only protein you consume, that would be like you'd be getting the equivalent of 70% of that value in isolation because of like a rate limiting amino acid. Mm-hmm. But if you combine it with something else, and it doesn't have to be in that moment, then like the actual net digestibility of most plant proteins is still over 90%. It's just the amino acid, like the rate limiting amino acid will give it like a lower score. So I try to like take sort of a middle ground approach between like the bros and just train hard, whatever, don't overthink it. Like there's this running influencer, elite athlete, running influencer, I should say. That's yeah.
Just a running influencer.
Just a running influencer who runs like a 2:12 marathon. His like kind of tagline is train harder, not smarter, and I love it because it's just just encouraging people to like stop overthinking. But also like I do think there's valid like scientific advancements in training and like things that we're learning that can make training more effective. But I think people go too hard in that direction and they like focus on all the minutia before they're even doing the hard training that makes it count in the first place.
How much of that do you think is an excuse to not train hard though?
I don't know if it's a conscious
I've fallen
excuse.
for that. Like I've fallen for I would say I've been somebody that has struggled for sure with overthinking, and hindsight when I look back after having gone over whatever hurdle that I was overthinking for so long, it was purely because of fear of whatever the thing was that I had to do, which is a hard workout, leaving my job, starting something new, tackling a project, asking like selling to a client, whatever it is. Like it's always been, oh well, I have to, and there is and what about, and and it's like, I think that threshold is so easy to get stuck at because of all of the stuff that's out. And so I just feel like we're in a society of chronic overthinkers, but really we're in a society of people who are really just too afraid to do something challenging because everything is marketed to us as being easy. It should be easy. If it doesn't feel easy, you're the problem, Yeah.
How do you like even really break these into sets much? Or do you just kind of like cycle it till you get 15 or whatever?
I usually do groups of 3 or so reps.
Yeah.
And then I give myself a second. I will say I'm not jumping far enough. I don't think I have the skill of jumping
fatigue yourself
to
as
fatigue
much?
myself enough to where I really need that much rest.
Yeah.
Like Blaine, he'll rest for 3 minutes in between a set, but I'm like, I'm literally not talented enough. Like I don't understand jumping enough to need to rest that long. You know, I wish. But I've like experimented with longer and shorter rest periods, and sometimes the longer rest periods is worse because I feel I get out of my groove. So
I think for a lot of kind of higher skill sprinting, jumping, Olympic lifting, I think beginners can just do a little more volume, probably lower output, but just like develop the skill a little faster. And then once you're actually good at it, then change the approach a little bit. I've been a moderately good runner for 18 years.
I think it's because you just like everything. You just want to try all the things, which is exciting.
My biggest regret, and we were talking about it in my kitchen earlier, is I spent too many of my early years as a runner optimizing too low a volume. I was like analyzing every detail of what 30 miles
A week.
was going to be
Yeah.
versus like I could have just said screw it and just done a longer.
But it's also what were you training for then?
Oh, long races.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No.
were you training for like a mile?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just like, I mean, granted,
Bitch. No,
it was early days of hybrid training. Hybrid was relatively new, and I was all about minimalism. So I was like, I'm gonna try to run ultras and lift heavy and do all the things. So my thought process was, I'm just gonna like hyper optimize low mileage, and like I was doing weight vest runs. I'm like, I'm gonna build up my structure to be able to tolerate long distances by running a weight vest and doing all the things. And it did work to an extent, but I think I was too afraid of balancing volume against lifting at the time.
Right.
And now just like knowing more about hybrid training, having more experience, I'm like, I can still run 60 miles a week, 70 miles a week.
But also, it's made you, I think, really a good authority on cross training.
Yeah.
And on using other modalities to get the same effects of a higher volume week or a hard workout with less overall force on the body, like treadmill, like incline work.
Well, and a lot of my clients that I work with, they want to do crazy like ultras and whatnot, and they just can't put in the time because they have jobs and families, and they're like, I want to run this 100-mile race, and I have 10 hours a week to work with total.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have done that. Like, you know, now, like, I would rather just train more.
Yeah.
But I know I've been there and I've done that. What is it like doing acceleration work, max velo work with some just like absolute animals?
It feels like I'm not doing anything. This actually is so funny that you said this because yesterday I hit a PR. I hit like a 1-2-2 10-meter fly, which was really good. I mean, it was with a 15-meter build or something, but it's still like for me, it was very good. It was a PR, by quite a bit. I think my fastest before that was like a 1-2-6 or 1-2-5. So it was a big day for me, you know, considering all things considered. But I'm running with people who are running 107s. So I'm like, a 1-2-2, 107. They're like, yeah, Abigail. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever. It's nice in the sense that I feel really just like honored that I get to watch. I just get to watch people be really, really skilled at running and sprinting and jumping. And so that's cool. And then I get people who are very good at what they do giving me feedback on reps, which is amazing. But I don't go into it with much expectation. Like I actually would say mentally, like where Blaine gets super hyped up for these days, he's like, oh my God, you know, max velo day. Like he's like caffeine, pre-workout, whatever. Those are, to me, I'm like, we're chilling today, easy day, you know?
Exactly.
Like for me, Thursday, the mile training day is where I'm like, you know, because he does tempo work that day.
Right.
So he's just like running some 100 slow and then he's done.
Yeah.
You know, and me, I'm like trying to get geared up for a mile workout, which you know how horrible those are. So
you can only get like really hyped up like couple times a week. You can't do it for every session like that.
But to be honest, Alec, I don't know. I think we're gonna do let's do some push press. I kind of want your advice on this because I feel like I've been managing the apex volume pretty well, and I know I'm gonna have to add in some more conditioning.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I wanna just keep it to 1 mile focus day, do my max velo work, my acceleration work, and then just add in base work, or like zone 3 work, really. It's not really base work for me.
I would add in,
Or if I should be adding in a threshold day, or if I should have,
I would consider some like sub-threshold repeats, maybe,
Okay.
before, and some cross training potentially, but like half marathon pace intervals, maybe.
Okay.
I feel like that'd probably be good for you.
But how many miles should I be accumulating of that? Could I get away with a decent amount of my stuff on a step mill? And then do mile focus run day, a threshold focus day.
Well, for your mile training, are you doing like kind of a speed side pace extension style progression?
I'm hitting paces right now. My paces are faster. They're way faster than my mile goal pace.
Got it.
I'm way under because I'm doing 200 repeats right now. So, which is not a reflection of what I'm going to be hitting mile time. I think I'm hitting like a 5 flat pace.
You could honestly just have like kind of 2 more mile focused workout progressions, where 1 you're coming at like speed side, and 1 you come at from like VO2 max side.
Okay.
Solid. And we'll see if this works.
Let's go, Glennis.
Oh, yeah, that hurts. But
And a true
doable.
CrossFit push
It's
press.
doable.
Me with my pauses.
Your current mile PR is,
My current mile PR is 5:19.
that's cooking.
Yeah,
That's pretty fast.
yeah. I was proud of it, all things considered, and the fact that it was like middle of summer Florida training.
Oh God.
You know?
Did you race that outside?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's an outside mile, and it was, and I had started endurance training, like really seriously, February of that year. So February of 2025 was when I really was like, I really like endurance training and I want to get into it. And then I trained for 5K and I ran a like 20-30 5K or something like that for my first 5K, which I was proud of. And then I went right into mile training after that. So I started mile training in May and I attempted the mile end of July.
I feel like a summertime
I had
Florida mile in 5:19 is like a 5:10.
You know what? Thank you, and I agree with you. And guys, if anyone asks me what my mile is now, that's what I'm gonna fucking say it is.
So I think
Oh my God, this feels heavy.
for your like long-term goal of sub 5, I think you're actually pretty close.
I don't know.
Nice.
Okay, we're gonna do 3.
Solid. Not bad.
I think I would have been closer to, not a sub 19, but like a 19:10.
See, I think based on your goals to run a faster mile, but also you care about the longer distance stuff long term, I think having a like endurance side mile approach, like working on some VO2 stuff, would be really good long term, because it's going to work on the weak spot of your mile, but like also kind of translate to some of the longer stuff.
Yeah.
It sucks, but like classic like textbook VO2 work, I think would be killer for you.
Textbook VO2 work is
Sucks. Sucks.
It's the worst.
Rip some 800-meter repeats.
You know, actually, I've grown to like 800s. I've grown to like them. It's more the intensity to which you need to do those 800s for VO2 it's just different.
Well, so here's what I think I wish more people would appreciate about that stuff is like, sort of like hypertrophy. Like you can do a shit ton of volume, but like you can get a lot out of like 2 quality sets, like if they're actually hard. And so like if you already have a lot of training going on, but you want some VO2 work, you don't have to do 10 by 800
Nope.
at 10 out of, like you can literally do like 2 really hard 800s.
Yes. I was
and
about
just,
to
like,
say you can rip like 4 800s and have like a decent rest in between.
Yeah.
But really be at a pace where you're like, I need the full 2 minutes of rest in between 800s. I need the full 3 minutes of rest in between 800s, and have a pretty solid session. And then I mean you'll brick it around stuff, but
yeah, like you can always do like one of my favorite just like classic VO2 sessions is like 6 by 3 minutes, 7 by 3 minutes. But like you could do 3 by 3 minutes and like still get a decent stimulus.
6 by 3 minutes VO2 is crazy, dude. That's disgusting. Dude, what is... You're so disgusting.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Well,
You didn't want that one. I saw it. I saw it in your face right away. Like she's good with 4. So most women who run a 5:19, we'll call it 5:10, Tallahassee mile, are not in the gym lifting like as much as you are.
yeah.
Talk to me about that. Is it like, why do you lift as much as you do?
I think I love lifting. I just like, it's so fun for me. It's enjoyable. It's really where I ran track, and then in high school, and then to stay in shape for track, I went and started going to do like group classes with my mom, and I fell in love with the gym. I fell in love with lifting, and then I got obsessed with just lifting. I was like, screw this track thing. Like, I love working out. And I think I just love to train. But why I like lifting even when I'm endurance running, one, because I have a big base for it. So I can get away with, I think, a lot more lifting volume than maybe a runner who's never lifted, because I've done it for so many years. 2, I really think it helps me. I think it helps with my runs. I think it also helps, there's something to running on tired legs that is very advantageous, in my opinion, in training and prepping for races. Like, I don't know about your experience with running on tired legs, but I love that my mile training day is on a Thursday after some base work, 2 days after lower body. I'm like, mwah, mwah, like perfection.
Yeah.
Because I can still get the effort, the output. I'm looking at my paces still. So if my paces are absolute trash, like we'll adjust, but they're not. But I'm going in tired and I'm still hitting paces. It's like, that's a huge mental victory to me. But I just feel like the classic like hybrid athlete thing, like half hybrid athletes are really just people who just like to do the thing with the stuff. Like they love lifting, they love running, they love trying new things, they love pushing themselves in whatever way that they can. And they also might be like slightly neurodivergent and and have some problems.
What bugs me is like there's a lot of people who I think they run a moderate amount.
Yeah.
They probably could run more than they are. They just don't because they don't want to, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have people like that who are like, they don't want to lift because they're worried about the lifting interfering with the running. I'm like, more training, good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you could probably tolerate more. And yeah, maybe if you like really want to get as fast as possible, you should just run more. But like, if you have the recovery like bandwidth to like add a gym day, it's good. Like, why not?
I also think that you can add a gym day because it's what is your gym day?
Yes.
What I'm doing in the gym versus what an Olympic level runner or even an elite or a pro runner is going to be doing in the gym it's going to be different. But you can still have a gym day.
Yeah.
There's actually I really don't think there's an argument for not being in the gym anymore as a runner, because now you're seeing at the highest levels they're coming out and they're showing their routine with their trainer. They're talking about how the gym has helped them feel so much better, that they're just, I feel better on my runs. Like people are not getting injured as much. Like it's just, I feel like there's really no excuse to be somebody who's running and who's like, I just don't go in the gym. It's not good for me.
I feel like
you know better.
We're finally starting to see more runners come around to the idea that the gym is not meant to be more endurance training.
Yes.
But like actually lifting heavy, thinking about like adaptations for their tendons.
Yes.
Versus like for so long trying to convince a runner like the gym is not a place to come do 4x20 leg press.
Thank you.
Like Jesus Christ.
I just made a post about this.
And it felt like fighting an uphill battle for a while. I'm like, guys, stop it. Like if you have the energy for 4x20 leg press, just go run another couple miles, please.
Go run some hill repeats.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, like, because your 4x20 really is like, you might as well just go run some hills.
Yeah.
To be honest,
100%.
like if we want the adaptations for strength training that are gonna really help you, let's get under a bar and let's do something that feels heavy for 6 reps.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Fine. And honestly, like 3 reps, 5 reps, 6 reps. At that point,
it doesn't matter that much. Yeah.
We're arguing minutia.
Yes, correct.
And like sometimes I see that people are like, you should really lift heavy. Like, why are you doing 5? You could do 3. Like, lift heavy. Like
you're doing less than 15, and that I am happy about.
Heavy, yeah. One of my favorite things in the gym, just like from a nerd out coach perspective, is I think a lot of times you'll like find something in the gym that you're like, this feels really good, and I like don't know why. Like I can't explain it. I just like this. Like whenever there's stuff like that where I'm like, I like this, but I'm not sure what I like about this. I like love trying to figure it out. Like what exactly is it that I like about doing this exercise this way or this machine or whatever, because then I want to like be able to recreate that in other contexts and like, I don't know. I just nerd out over that stuff.
So it's like almost how can you take this feeling or this strength curve profile from the Smith and replicate it on some other exercise or in some other condition or...
I understand that I won't always like be able to explain everything, but I hate not knowing.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't know, there's some, like for something seemingly simple, like to think there's something about this exercise that I'm not understanding why it feels this way. I just like, doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I'm sure half the time I'm just making shit up though.
There was a client that I have, and dude, I swear to God, you're like my old people clients are my best clients because they're just so wise. And he was like, there are people in this world that are why people, and there are people in this world that are what people. And he's like, my favorite people are why people. You'll even bend into that. Okay.
A little bit. There's no wrong way to do it. There's a couple right ways to do it. So technically, like if you bend that knee a little bit, it's less strict because like you're technically putting your leg into a little bit, but you just get that steeper angle and it steepens the profile a little more.
Stability to the movement. Because I wanted to bend my knee when I was doing it.
As long as you're still getting the side bend too, just adding that little extra bend to make the lever a little longer. Because I like not having to go as heavy. Like I can just go really strict with like the barbell and go extra heavy, but it's just like, I do so much, like everything is heavy and compressy. Sometimes just like the lighter core variations don't beat the shit out of me as much when I've already done.
Be going hard all the time.
Not in the same way all the time.
Yeah. I feel like on a side bend, you could probably cool it. On a side bend, you could probably give yourself a little bit of reprieve. All right. Nice.
All right.
Why did I agree to do this with you?
Hey.
My life now is purely just being around people that humble me. And honestly, it's the best thing.
I think that...
I only work out with people that are just absolutely way better at what we're doing than me.
I think that's one of the keys. Like, you have to surround yourself with people that push you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Honestly,
And just like show you what's
Vulnerable
possible
moment.
so you believe.
very much vulnerable moment here, but since really any like big jump, I was working at a gym and I was like the top trainer at the gym, which I mean, Tallahassee, Florida, like that's not me trying to brag. That's just like kind of the inevitable.
Yeah.
But it was like, go from being the top trainer at the gym, leaving the job, starting my own business, like literally out of my garage, making really good money there, being like the kind of the trainer of Tallahassee at that point. Like it was like everybody just sort of knew me and was like, she's the one to go to then leaving and being like, I'm gonna go to Austin and I'm just gonna like be the small fish in the pond again. It was something that I knew it would be a tougher transition for me, but it was like, it pulled at every area of my ego, in so many different ways, like not just as a trainer, but like as an athlete, as a human, like,
Yeah.
and it's been the coolest experience just in the past 3 weeks, because I'm like, wow, every day I'm like pissed off at me, but also simultaneously I'm like so happy and like grateful that I'm here, that I have people that are willing to like train with me, teach me, I can learn from them, like want me to be a part of whatever they're doing. And it's also a blessing because it's like, you must be doing something kind of right that you have the opportunity to like even be in the place that you're at. So it's been very cool.
I felt the same thing since moving here for sure.
Really?
And like you can, it's up to you like how you spin that, and like do you make it a positive or a negative,
Yeah.
And do you use it as motivation to be better or a reason to be insecure or whatever? But I think it's easy to be complacent when you are like the bigger fish in a smaller pond. And like, I'd have these goals that I'm like, well, I can get there eventually kind of thing. Like, no big deal, I'm doing great, I can get there eventually. And then come down here and it's like, oh man, people are doing that.
Yep.
Like the thing that I would love to do someday, like they're doing it right now.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? I can do that, So I think it's good. You just have to frame it right.
You realize like, one, there's no excuse. And also, two, you have all the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like,
and what I found too is like everyone, like even at technically is like competition, like in the industry, everyone wants you to win.
yeah.
People are really supportive.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't talk to people and you just watch them, like you don't get that. But like find the people who are doing the thing and be like, I want to do that. And they'll be like, fuck yeah, let's
do it.
Let's do it. Can I use your straps?
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I actually really I used to have.
These are my favorite straps. And you guys, these straps, $8 on Amazon.
The cheaper
The best straps you'll ever own. I definitely should have rested for a second in between legs.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so when it comes to split squats, I'm generally of just load that sucker up and then fill in the gaps with something else. But yeah, I'd bias it slightly depending on someone's goals and overall movement habits.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
All right.
He would load heavier, but there's no more dumbbells.
I don't know, man.
I feel like knowing you would go up.
Maybe if we hadn't.
You'd be like, Abigail went to 60s. What's 110?
Maybe if we hadn't run.
That's true. Sometimes, dude, I'm like, if it's not getting done now, it's not getting done.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you don't have a choice.
Well, there are a couple days too where I finished hard sessions, like hard run sessions, and I'm like, if I don't eat something and lift, like in 30 minutes, I'm
doing it at all.
out the rest of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's definitely me being a bitch thing, but I don't care. I don't care.
That is tricky. I've done that.
Sometimes if I go into a lift more mentally, like if I go into a lift mentally worse off, it's worse than if I went into a lift tired. Like I'd rather go into a lift tired than like, I feel stiff, I feel slow, I feel whatever, which sometimes if I wait too long post-run.
So it's very privileged to be able to like make these sorts of training decisions. So with that,
absolutely.
With that said, I think it's interesting because a lot of times in the hybrid space, you'll hear people talk about like separate the sessions by 6 hours.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, I would rather have a 3-hour break than a 6-hour break.
Yep.
6 hours later, I'm down. I'm out. It's nap time.
Yep.
6 hours later.
Yep. I'm asleep.
Yeah, give me an 8 a.m. run, 11 a.m. lift, and then.
Because I'm like, do you guys not work? Like,
yeah.
I'll work, I'll train 5 clients. I'm not, I'm tired after.
Yeah, nothing is happening at 4 p.m. Nothing productive anyway. But if you have to, like I get some people, they have their before work, after work session, they can't get away at lunch or whatever. So I get that. And props to those people doing like a second session in the evening after work. That's crazy.
Oh, I'm mind blown by those people.
Yeah.
Who will finish, especially an 8-hour shift, like sitting. Like if you're working a desk job.
Oh yeah.
And then you go rip a run after.
Mentally, you're so fried.
I don't know how they do it. I'm much more impressed by those people than the people who just train 3 times a day and that's like their job.
Yeah, 100%.
If your job's working out. And that's why also too, athletes, people who are just athletes and have never coaching people, I'm always a little skeptical of because I'm like, man, how do they know, like what experience have they had training a bunch of different populations, people that aren't like them, people that are, 3 standard deviations below them in terms of athletic ability or base. They have a job, they have children. How do you account for those things? Because you can program. I mean, I'm sure an athlete can give a freaking awesome program for another elite athlete.
That's why I think the like in-person coaching is good because like you talk more about people's lives and stuff than you ever would remotely.
Oh
and so just working with people in person and like hearing like, hey, how was your day? And then they like drop a bunch of stuff on you and you're like, oh, fuck.
You have a lot more empathy. It's helped me a lot with my online coaching, to be honest, because people, especially athletes, like they don't want to come to you even if they're busy and be like, man, I'm just having a rough go. Like, I don't know if I can get this session in.
Yeah.
But you can sort of read between the lines when someone's like, hey, coach, like feeling a little drained this week or whatever. I can immediately now know, based off of the athlete I've been working with, I'm like, oh, we're going to adjust some things for the week.
Yeah.
There are some athletes that I know I'm like, nah, they need to actually let it rip because this is more of an outlet for them. This is better for them. And then maybe the next week we have a down week when their adrenaline like comes down from the crash or whatever they've been dealing with.
Yeah.
But it's knowing that. It's like knowing what it's been like to work with people in person and see their face and hear the story and hear the in-depth stuff and then know who your online people are a little bit to bridge that gap. And when they're not talking to you, you're still hearing them. This guy's crazy.
I'm trying to not be such a slowpoke.
Maybe my last set don't be a slowpoke. Be a slowpoke. I think for my last set I should try and see how many reps I can get with the hundreds. Should I do something dumb? No.
I think as a coach, no. As a content creator, I think you should send it.
That is going to be my cover photo, Abigail.
You only have to do one.
If I can get one rep, I'd be happy.
And we'll loop it.
Yeah, that's true. Hear that? Post cut? Post cut? She looks very consistent across all 6 reps.
Have you seen like the people that fucking have done that and cheated for like the CrossFit Open?
Are you serious?
Yes.
I haven't seen
There's
that.
like a, AMRAP in 20 minutes. Some like losers will literally do like 2 rounds and loop it, and they got in trouble and banned from CrossFit. I'm like, what sort of person? Like that's.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
There's like, all cheating is bad, but there's levels to the absolute insanity required.
Because to me, it's if you're trying to make it to the games, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna look like a fool when you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're cheating to get there, you think that the athletic ability is just gonna like zoom into your body whenever you get to the games? You're like, I'll be able to pull something out of my ass. It'll be fine. All right. Get ready to loop this bitch. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. Oh my God. There's no way. There's no way.
No?
Oh my God.
Hey, what's Blaine's phone
How
number?
are you-
Let's see if this works.
You guys,
And is it a
Alec,
US?
this is so impressive. You got a US number now. Wait, are you trying to text him?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if it will give him a guest pass.
Ignore his contact name.
3 days, take all your pictures.
Yep, yeah, I've got content for 3 months. Yeah,
Exactly.
seriously. And it's hard as a coach of female athletes too. I coach male and female, but my female, it's hard because they want performance, but they also want to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can get both, but you can't chase both.
Well, and everyone's different too, like with how lean they can get before performance suffers.
Yes.
And I think we see outliers who like,
yes.
they can maintain a much lower body fat percentage without health consequences and sustain it.
Yeah.
And then so everyone wants that. And it's like, not everyone's gonna be able to have like ab vascularity.
Yeah, like I think you and Blaine are actually those exceptions.
100%.
You and Blaine are those people that like y'all will sit at 8 to 10% body fat year round and also just look shredded at that
And feel
body
fine.
fat percentage and feel perfectly good. And I have sat at very lean percentages and now my blood work.
Yeah,
We see how that went.
yeah.
We're
We're done with split squats, right?
We're done. Yes.
Hip
Thank God.
thrust,
Yeah, we got
row,
hip
abs.
thrust.
Is that it?
Hip thrust and some abs. Let's
All right.
do it. Let me. So you added him as a guest?
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
So
I don't know what it did.
does that mean I even
breaking it in.
discussed to use it? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of like the men in the fitness space, but I feel poorly for women in the fitness space because I've definitely fallen prey to, like even when I was in the middle of half marathon training and I'm running these awesome times for me, and like I'm chasing a performance goal. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I'm losing muscle or I feel like bloated or fat because it's like you're so inflamed, you're training hard as shit, you know, and you're also eating so many carbs,
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do women who are just now getting into this or have dealt with like, what the heck, how are you guys operating, you know, healthily around this? This is crazy.
There you go. So you were telling me earlier how you did have this whole in-person business in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And now you've been on the road moving. You kind of gave up the Tallahassee one-on-one business, right?
Yeah. I do some virtual training still from there. but it has been quite a transition.
Tell me about your whole virtual coaching business, and like what sort of people do you work with, and what are your goals with that?
Yeah, so I work one-on-one online with athletes, and then I also do virtual online. The virtual is really for the people that I was training in person that still, I think the adjuster's yes. Oh, you can raise it up.
It was already all the way up, I think. Sorry, go on.
No, you're good. I didn't actually see that. My virtual is really for the people that I was training in Tallahassee. So they didn't want to switch trainers or get a new trainer, and they really wanted me to continue to coach them. So that was something I set up for them. But I also work one-on-one online with athletes. And yeah, it's just these systems that I built, that I've gotten and then also built out, that has like full check-in, access to me via WhatsApp, full programming, their race schedule that they'd want for the year with potential edits. And it's actually really fun because I feel like I get to do all of the programming stuff a little bit more ahead of time, and then I get to do all the coaching stuff on a week-to-week basis because they give me what they want for the next 3-4 months in terms of these are my goals for this block, this is my goal for the year. I can do a lot of programming out ahead of time, and then during the actual coaching process, I can week to week, we can adjust, make changes, call, talk, check in, that kind of thing. And so it's really, it's enjoyable for me because I feel like I can nerd out and program and do that stuff, but then it doesn't take away from my coaching, which is what was hard for me to navigate initially when I started going online, because I would program week to week. And I was like, I feel like I'm just a programmer. I feel like I'm just programming that, and I was also extremely time consuming, and I was constantly trying to get caught up with my client instead of have a plan and then be able to just make adjustments as needed.
Totally. For the runners who you like encourage to lift and make them feel good and safe and excited about lifting, like any wisdom or like helpful nuggets that you could share with other coaches, because it's a tough audience to work with, I think. Like a lot of runners are really hesitant to get into the gym. Like, what are a couple things you think are really key for understanding that demographic?
Lean into some of the things that they believe in about lifting. Like come in with their perspective. Do we want them lifting pretty heavy? Do we want them lifting a little bit in the lower end of the rep range? Yes. But like, do we need them to be doing 12 exercises? No. But they're coming in with a prerequisite bias against, fear toward, like assumption about lifting that, whether true or not, like that's what they come with. And so being able to compromise, meet them where they are, where it's like, okay, let me sneak in a couple of these drills that are like higher rep to prep them for these bigger lifts, which is just basically warming up, you know?
Yeah.
But then we can get in, we can rip like 6 to 8 reps on a deadlift or a Smith squat or whatever. And then we can do some of the accessory stuff, which is also still important. Not that accessory stuff is bad, but like the stuff that they are really excited about doing,
Totally.
And if you have to, like, the client is first. If they're like, dude, I freaking love Bosu ball sit-ups, guess what the hell I'm gonna have them do every once in a while? A Bosu ball sit-up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
They just ruin everyone's program for like some fun and things that they just like.
It is not like everything that I do is like always optimal, the best, the thing to do. Like you and I both, and we talk about, we'll fuck around in the gym all the time and just try stuff out and be like, this was a bad idea, but but it was a fun time.
I've had gym pop clients. I worked with a woman in her like late 50s who loved ripping arms, just like bis and tris. Yep. And I'm like, guess what we're doing every session?
Bis and tris.
We'll squeeze them in.
Yeah.
And especially like either starting or finishing with something that people enjoy, I think is great. I think just like psychologically people are kind of funny that way. They like remember the start, the finish, the highs, the lows, but like some other stuff kind of gets like washed out. So I think if you can come up with something that people really enjoy, motivates them to start a session, like, hey, let's start with something fun, let's finish with something fun. I'll squeeze in some of the stuff you don't really want to do like in the middle, you'll forget about it.
Yeah, that's actually so well said. That's literally how I would approach a session with a runner, which is we're gonna start with the drill stuff that's really just warm up stuff that they're gonna really like. Then we get into some main lifts, and then we finish out with some of the accessory work that's still actually important to do.
Yeah.
And they have fun with it. And sometimes we load it in a way that is like more fun than it is optimal.
Yeah.
And who cares?
I'm about to sneeze. I think we're good. All right, well, that was fun. Solid workout.
Yes.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me, thank you by the way for having me.
Yeah.
But you can find me Instagram, abigail.crowe. You can find me on YouTube looking up the Alchemical Life podcast. And then if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or anything like that, just questions about training, Instagram is the best way to reach me.
Nice job on the run. It was a pretty solid pace.
Dude, thank you. I was struggling a little bit.
I'm
so glad that I had you running with me.
I'm just glad you're running again. Like, getting over a quad tear is shitty.
Yeah.
So 10 miles down, successful.
And it does, no pain.
Awesome.
And lift, no pain.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Just imagine if you had had some blue Gatorade.
I would have push pressed to oblivion.
Yeah.